Ladies and gentlemen, accompanied by distinguished members of the university faculty, please welcome the Niagara University graduating class of 2021. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, colleagues, and honored guests, welcome to the 2021 Baccalaureate Commencement Exercises for the 164th graduating class from Niagara University. My name is Averill Harbin. I am the university's Dean of Students, and it is my distinct privilege to serve as the Master of Ceremonies at this year's conferral of bachelor's degrees from the College of Arts and Sciences. I am honored to share the stage this afternoon with members of the President's Administrative Cabinet, our academic deans, our distinguished honorees and guests, and of course, our esteemed President, Reverend James J. Marr, CM. The ceremonial mace is an ancient symbol of authority that represents the corporal presence of the university. The Niagara University mace is hand-carved teak and features 4 engraved silver medallions representing the core values of the university and its mission. It is present at all solemn gatherings of the university, and it links us to over 400 years of our Vincentian heritage. The mace is being brought forward this afternoon by the University Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Timothy Ireland. Thank you, Dr. Ireland. This weekend, we will confer degrees on more than 1,000 candidates here at our Lewiston campus, and in a few weeks at our campus in Ontario, Canada. May your memories of today serve as lasting reminders of the time you have spent with us, being formed in the Catholic intellectual tradition and in the charism of our patron, St. Vincent de Paul. And may today's ceremonies inspire you to commit to a life of continuous learning, growth, and service to others. As our university operates on both sides of the border, it is our custom to perform the national anthems both of the United States and Canada. This morning, both anthems will be performed by Mr. Michael Kelleher, a graduating senior from our Department of Theater and Fine Arts. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the colors and the singing of the national anthems. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. The colors will be presented by Niagara University's Purple Eagle Battalion of ROTC. After the anthems, please remain standing for the invocation given by Ms. Christina DeLoya, Director of Campus Ministries.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. God of promise and hope, God of healing and new beginnings, we come together today with grateful hearts. We thank you, God, for the gift of education, for the gifts of all the people who have opened our minds and touched our hearts during our time at Niagara. We thank you for our graduates, for the blessings they have been to our NU family, and for the everlasting impression they have made on our university. God, we thank you for the model of St. Vincent de Paul, in whose spirit we seek to serve the suffering and oppressed of our community, our country, and our world. Please, Lord, continue to bless our university and especially our graduates as they move forward to carry out your work in everything they do. We pray that our work as an academic community might, by your grace, continue to contribute to positive social change in our community and beyond. Please help our graduates to use all that they have learned here on Monteagle Ridge to make the world a better place, to serve others in true solidarity and kinship, to develop creative and impactful ways to help the poor, the marginalized, and all who suffer, and to always seek the greater good. Grant our graduates peace in these days of transition and uncertainty, and grant them great hope for their futures. May all of our hearts be open to your will, O God, and may we strive daily to live by the words of our patron, your faithful servant Vincent, who said, "Put your trust in God, and following God's example, always act humbly, graciously, and in good faith." We ask all of this through Jesus Christ, your Son and our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, cadets, Michael and Christina. Please be seated. Commencement is a French word meaning beginning. So before we begin with the conferral of awards and degrees, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge two of our Vincentian confrères who are leaving Niagara University for new assignments. Reverend Dual Dang, CM, Reverend Vincent J. O'Malley, CM. On behalf of the entire university community, thank you for your years of service to our community. Good luck and many blessings to you in the years ahead. I also want to recognize two members of our esteemed faculty who are completing 25 years of service to the university. Associate Professor Maureen Stevens from the Department of Theater and Fine Arts, and Dr. Timothy Ireland, Professor of Criminal Justice and the University Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. Unfortunately, Professor Stevens cannot be with us today, and we wish her well. Dr. Ireland, please come forward to receive your Emerito Medal for 25 years of dedication to our students. Father Marr, will you kindly do the honors? Dear friends, it is customary during convocations such as this to honor persons whose extraordinary achievements set them apart as role models for all students whom Niagara University graduates on this day. The Niagara University St. Vincent de Paul Medal is conferred upon individuals whose life and work embody the charism of our patron and founder of the Congregation of the Mission, Vincent de Paul. The award will be presented by the university's president, Reverend James J. Marr, CM. This afternoon, we are pleased to honor a champion of our region and the city of Niagara Falls, Mr. Anthony Restaino. The citation will be read by the university's Executive Vice President, Dr. Deborah Colley.
Thank you. The 19th century French journalist and social activist, Blessed Frederick Ozanam, wrote, "The question which is agitating the world today is a social one. It is a struggle between those who have nothing and those who have too much. Our duty as Christians is to throw ourselves between these two camps in order to achieve by love what justice alone cannot do." Astonishingly, these words still ring true today, and Ozanam's call to action resonates with the life and work of our esteemed guest and this afternoon's commencement honoree, Mr. Anthony J. Restaino. A lifelong resident of Niagara Falls, Mr. Restaino graduated from Bishop Duffy High School in 1974 and went on to complete his associate's degree at Niagara County Community College and his bachelor's degree in public policy and administration at the University of Buffalo. He subsequently dedicated his professional career to the hometown he loves. Indeed, the Restaino family has a strong presence in the Niagara Falls community. His late father, Antonio, served as the supervisor of construction and maintenance for the Niagara Falls Water Department. His niece, Danielle, a 2006 graduate of Niagara University, is a Niagara Falls City Court judge. His son, Anthony, also a 2006 NU graduate, serves as justice for the town of Niagara courts. And of course, his younger brother, Robert Restaino, also a Niagara University alumnus, is the current mayor of the city of Niagara Falls. Anthony Restaino has served numerous roles in the administration of Niagara County, including as management and budget director, and ultimately as the Commissioner for Social Services, a position he held for 2 decades. His leadership and commitment in this critical role transformed the lives of children and families as he improved the delivery of services and streamlined funding by instituting best practices from other regions in the state. As only one small example, Niagara University had the expanded opportunity to work with Anthony Restaino in our enhancement of the quality of care in early childhood centers and in working with single parents and guardians who could not afford child care services. His work with Niagara's Help Me Grow initiative brought developmental screenings into county government buildings so that young children would receive the early intervention services that they needed. He retired as Commissioner for Social Services last year, but he would not remain retired for long, as his brother asked him to step into a Niagara Falls City Administrator position, the number 2 in City Hall. And when your brother calls, how could you possibly refuse? Beyond his professional duties, Mr. Restaino had dedicated himself to service and outreach. He is a member of the Knights of Columbus. He served on the board of directors of the Food Bank of Western New York and also the Catholic Academy of Niagara Falls. He's been awarded the Humanitarian Award from the Niagara Falls Boys and Girls Club, the Vince Morello Statesman Award from the Niagara Street Business Association, Humanitarian Award by United Cerebral Palsy, and the Heart of Hansi Award from the Health Association of Niagara County. In recognition for his lifelong dedication to his city and region and his generous outreach to the poor in the spirit of Niagara University's patron, we are proud to bestow upon Anthony J. Restaino the Niagara University St. Vincent de Paul Medal.
Thank you, Dr. Colley, and congratulations, Mr. Restaino. A very special way that the university shows its respect and affection for an individual is by conferring an honorary degree, designated in Latin as honoris causa, meaning for the sake of honor. This is a privilege granted by the Board of Trustees after careful consideration of each candidate. Today's honorary degree will be presented by Niagara University's President, Reverend James J. Marr, CM. Read by the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Peter Butera. Mr. Foreman, please step to the front of the stage.
Vincent de Paul once wrote, "We should strive to keep our hearts open to the sufferings of other people and pray continually that God may grant us that spirit of compassion, which is truly the Spirit of God." This loftiness of moral purpose and firmness of intellectual conviction define the character of this afternoon's honoree and speaker, Mr. James Foreman, Jr., who Mr. Foreman understood at an early age the complexities of race identities and relationships in America. A self-proclaimed nerdy kid, he attended Brown University, then completed his degree at Yale Law School in 1992. He began his career as a clerk for the U.S. Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C. And the following year, he clerked for U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor. By the end of his clerkship, he imagined himself doing the civil rights work of his generation. In 1994, Mr. Foreman joined the legal staff of the Public Defender Service in Washington, D.C., where for the next 6 years, he represented juveniles and adults charged with crimes. Most of his clients had poor academic records, had dropped out, or struggled with mental health issues. Frustrated with the criminal justice system's inability to prevent troubled young people from becoming his clients in the first place, he worked with an attorney colleague to envision an alternative school, specifically dedicated to mentor and educate young high school dropouts and youth who had previously been arrested. In the fall of 1997, the Maya Angelou Public Charter High School opened its doors, with 20 students selected from the court system, all of them on probation or committed to the city's youth and rehabilitation services. By 2004, the school had grown enough to require a second campus, and in 2007, the school expanded its program to include direct instruction in the DC juvenile prison system. In 2003, Mr. Foreman began teaching at the Georgetown University Law Center. In 2011, he was invited to join the faculty of law at his alma mater, Yale University, where he currently teaches and writes in the areas of criminal procedure and criminal law policy, constitutional law, and juvenile justice. His articles have had wide appeal beyond the professional law reviews, appearing in The Atlantic, The New York Times, The Washington Post, and other popular journals. His book, Locking Up Our Own, Crime and Punishment in Black America, won the 2018 Pulitzer Prize for General Nonfiction. James Foreman Jr.'s skill as a careful and committed scholar and analyst has placed him in the first rank of authors and commentators who have initiated difficult but necessary conversations about the racial dimensions of crime and justice in America. We are proud to bestow upon him honoris causa, the Doctor of Humane Letters.
Thank you, Dr. Butera, and congratulations, Dr. Foreman. Now, if you will kindly take the podium, it is my honor to invite you to deliver this afternoon's commencement address.
Thank you. Thank you, President Marr, Dean Butera, distinguished podium, graduates, families, and the entire Niagara University community. Now, the first thing I just have to say to y'all graduates is never admit that you're nerdy. Because if you do, years later, when you receive an award, it'll get cited and they'll be quoting you, so you won't be able to deny it. I'm honored to share this most special day with you. And before I offer brief remarks, I want to invite our graduates to consider everybody who helped propel you to this day. No achievement is ever ours alone. So please take a moment, reflect, even close your eyes if it feels right, and try to picture right now some of those people who helped make this day possible for you. And as you do, let a light of gratitude shine from your heart towards them. Send that gratitude towards a parent, a grandparent, a caregiver, somebody who kept you safe, who loved you unconditionally, who put your needs before their own. Send it to a coach who believed in you before you believed in yourself, to a teacher who challenged you and made learning fun. And then shine that light towards the entire Niagara University community. Your professors, yes, but not just them. Send that gratitude to the staff who registered you for classes, who processed your financial aid. The custodians and the kitchen workers who cleaned your hallways, served your meals, the people who have set up these chairs today and will clean up for us after we leave. Send it to the health workers who risked sickness, even death, this past year, who tested us, who cared for us, and now we are so blessed to be able to say, have vaccinated us as well. And if I've missed anybody who matters to you, please take this moment to thank them and to fill your heart with love and light and appreciation for them. And of course, just as you share your appreciation to all those who have supported you, we should all acknowledge that you, today's graduates, are yourselves a special group. You've shown resilience and resourcefulness and fortitude. Think of it. The world threw a once-in-a-century global pandemic at you, and still you didn't quit. And I'm glad you're as strong as you are, because in the weeks, months, and years to come, we're going to need your strength. You depart Niagara facing a distinct threat, one that goes to the very core of what it means to be an American. And the threat is this: our democracy is in peril. What? You might be asking yourself, is this guy talking about peril? The end of democracy in America? Well, let me explain. When I say democracy, I want to be clear. I'm not here to talk about partisan politics, but I do want to talk about core democratic principles, because democracy is bigger than ideology. It's bigger than party. Democracy is a method of self-government that provides a framework for us to disagree. It protects all of us, and today we and you are called to protect it. As many of you will recall, during your senior year, this country had an election. And after the votes were counted, the president, then Donald Trump, appeared to have lost. In response, our president said the vote tallies were fraudulent. And as was his right under our constitutional system, he took those claims to state and federal court. And what happened when he did? Over 80 judges across 60 different courts looked at the cases. Judges appointed by Democrats and Republicans and independents, a dozen of them appointed by President Trump himself. In each case, they looked at the evidence and they came to the same conclusion. The voting was fair, the counting was fair, the election was fair, cases dismissed. And then along with the judges, Attorney General William Barr, appointed by President Trump, looked at the evidence, and when he was done, he reached the same conclusion. We found nothing, he said, to call these election results into question. At this point, our democratic traditions required one and only one course of action. Our president would have to concede. For 200 years, in an unbroken string of precedent, American presidents have done just this. As far back as the election of 1800, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson ran a bitterly contested campaign. And when it was all said and done, Jefferson prevailed. Adams was so angry that the two men didn't correspond for 11 years. But, and here's the crucial part, Adams accepted the result. As democracy required, he conceded that he had lost. As I said, this isn't a partisan issue. Presidents of both parties concede. After President George H.W. Bush lost to Bill Clinton in 1992, he offered these words. Here's the way we see it, and the country should see it, he said. The people have spoken, and we respect the majesty of the democratic system. So too, Vice President Al Gore, who lost to George W. Bush by fewer than 600 votes in a single state. Gore said this after the Supreme Court had ruled against him. Let there be no doubt. While I strongly disagree with the court's decision, I accept it. I also accept my responsibility, which I will discharge unconditionally, to honor the president-elect and to do everything possible to help bring Americans together. Just as we fight hard when the stakes are high, he said, we close ranks and come together when the contest is done. Why have all these presidents across time and party and political persuasion all done the same thing? Why have they accepted losing? After all, nobody likes to lose. They did it because they were, first and foremost, committed to democracy. They understood something so basic and yet so crucial. Democracy depends on the consent of the loser. Losers may regroup, of course, may try again. They might try to get more votes the next time. But the one thing they cannot do is what our former president has done, which is to reject any election defeat as illegitimate. Why? Why? What's wrong with claiming against all evidence that an election was rigged or stolen? Let me tell you, because that is how you break a democracy. Falsely claiming an election has been stolen isn't a problem for the past. It's a problem for the present and the future. Because when a candidate persuades his or her supporters to believe the last election was stolen, they become morally justified in stealing the next one. After all, it isn't even theft. You're just taking back what was rightfully yours. And at this point in a country, you have crossed a line. And what was once unimaginable in a democracy becomes possible, becomes justified, perhaps even required. You attack the U.S. Capitol to stop the certification of an election. You work to make voting more difficult, especially in cities or counties where your opponents live. You change the rules for how we run our elections, how we count the votes, so that it becomes easier for politicians and partisans to reject election results that they don't like. You purge your party of anybody who dares to concede that the last election was fair. And I am sorry to say that all of this and more has happened in the past few months. and the worst, I suspect, is yet to come. So how do we reclaim our democracy? How do we stand up to this threat? Let me offer 4 principles. First, we must know our history. We must know what democratic commitment sounds like. That's why I spoke of John Adams, George Bush, Al Gore. I wanted you to hear their words and understand that those words, that commitment to democracy, is our birthright. That is our history. Don't forget it. Don't ever let yourself become accustomed to stop the steal, the election was rigged, either I win or the election was a fraud. Second, we must be willing to speak the truth ourselves, even when it might be uncomfortable to do so. Many of you will hear, maybe you already have, friends, acquaintances, family members repeat falsehoods they've heard from political leaders and social media. You'll hear people say the election was stolen. And when you do that, you have a choice. You can sit quietly, ignore it, hope the conversation shifts to more agreeable topics. And that choice will be attractive. Because, after all, few of us want conflict when we can avoid it. But saving our democracy doesn't permit the easy choice. We can draw inspiration here from Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney. As many of you know, she's the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney. Until recently, she was the 3rd-ranking Republican in Congress. Her conservative credentials are impeccable. She voted with President Trump 93% of the time when she was in Congress. She voted for him to be reelected in November. But when she was asked to repeat the lie that the election was stolen, she refused. As she put it, ignoring the lie emboldens the liar. Cheney knew she'd probably be punished for her principled stance, and she was. But she spoke up anyway, because democracy demanded it, and democracy is bigger than party. My 3rd principle is please get involved in local politics. I know you all are known and have a tradition of service to and for the poor, for the homeless, for the dispossessed, and I honor that, and I want you to continue that. And then I want you to stretch in another direction as well, and I want you to think about running for office, and not just the big ones. From school board to city council to registrar of voters. If you are pro-democracy, we need you. And if you don't want to run for office, fine. Then volunteer to become a poll worker. And of course, register to vote and vote in every election. And whatever your party of choice, demand that any candidate you support be a pro-democracy candidate. Demand that they be willing to accept election results even when they lose. Finally, I ask that you resist complacency. Now, typically when Americans talk about failed democracies, we're talking about other countries. Our own history, after all, has been about expanding the ballot. When our Constitution was written, only white men with property could vote. Then generation after generation of freedom fighters expanded the franchise. None of this was easy. My father, a black man who grew up under Jim Crow, was arrested more times than he could count, fighting for the right to vote in the South in the 1960s. But while those battles were difficult, the trend line has almost always been in one direction, towards more democratic participation. And that success, I fear, has allowed many of us to take democracy for granted, to assume that it is guaranteed on these shores. But it isn't. Democracies fail. Democracies die. The framers of the Constitution knew this. When James Madison traveled from Virginia to Philadelphia in 1787 for the Constitutional Convention, what did he bring with him? 2 trunkfuls of books on the history of failed democracies. So we must know what Madison knew. We must know there's no invisible wall, no magic potion protecting America from authoritarianism. We only have ourselves. We only have you. But I believe that you, with your resilience, your resourcefulness, and your fortitude, I believe that you are up to the challenge. If you keep these principles in mind and you remember your birthright, you speak the truth even when it's uncomfortable to do so, you run for office and get involved in democracy, and you resist complacency, then you will meet this moment. And when you do, history will one day look back at this graduating class and your generation, and we will remember you as we do now, those who wrote America's Constitution, who saved the Union, who defeated fascism in Europe, who brought down Jim Crow in the 1960s. We will remember you as the generation that saved American democracy. Thank you, congratulations, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Foreman, for sharing your 4 principles, your words, your wisdom. Thank you. In 1998, Senator Chuck Schumer, who was elected to the United States Senate, and he kicked off his first Senate term by announcing that he would visit each of New York's 62 counties every year, which he indeed continues to do so 2 decades later. Usually, the senior senator from New York joins us in person, but during this pandemic year, he has pre-recorded a message to our graduates that he has asked us to share. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Charles E. Schumer.
Hello, Niagara University. This is Senator Chuck Schumer, and it's my honor to address the faculty and staff, the families and friends of the graduates, but most of all, you, the class of 2021. Congratulations. Now, I'm really sorry that I can't join you in person as I do almost every year, but I'm grateful that modern technology allows us to still be connected on this graduation day. You're special, and I wouldn't want to miss congratulating you, COVID or not. First, a quick word to the parents. As a parent myself, I know how hard it is to raise kids these days and how much you've invested in them. But it all pays off as you watch your son or daughter receive their diploma and become an adult before your very eyes. Congratulations to the moms and dads. And now to the class of 2021. You know, everyone says your senior year in college will be the most memorable, and for many of you, it probably has been, but certainly not in the way you expected. With COVID affecting our nation's health, our nation's economy, and your senior year, these have been unusual and difficult times. The challenges of this moment are truly unique, but so has been our collective response. The fact that we're still celebrating this graduation and not letting COVID stand in the way, even if we're celebrating differently, just goes to show you that New Yorkers won't let anything stop us from honoring what's so important. And nothing can take away from the fact that you've earned a degree from such a fine institution of higher learning. We have a long way to go, but for the first time in more than a year, we can start to think about what it'll be like when we return to normal. We're beginning to see light at the end of the tunnel, thanks to safe and highly effective vaccines. It's nothing short of a medical miracle, and I'm proud to have helped lead the way in Congress by prioritizing vaccine research, production, and most of all, distribution, so that everyone who wants a vaccine can now get one. And as Senate Majority Leader, the first ever from New York, I worked hard to pass the American Rescue Plan, which is putting money in the pockets of people and small businesses who've been hurt by this crisis and helping our society recover in so many different ways. Now, I'm pushing President Biden to forgive $50,000 in student loans, a crushing burden for millions of college graduates around the nation. With the flick of a pen, he could wipe this debt clean and create a brighter future for so many people, including many of you. So, class of 2021, my message to you is simple. Right now, it may feel like the future is uncertain. Many of you may not be sure what you're going to do next, but what has been true throughout history is just as true today. That even in times of difficulty, there are always new opportunities, new ways of thinking, of doing things a better way. It's natural to fear the unknown. I'm sure many of you do right now. But don't let the harshness of this past year prevent you from seizing new opportunities. They're out there. You just have to keep your eyes open to them. And don't forget, You have incredible assets, a college degree from a great institution, and loving families who will have your back through thick and thin. Our nation is recovering from this pandemic, and we need your help and your courage to rebuild our country even stronger than it was before. The past year has revealed the injustices and prejudices that persist in our society, and we can't go back to the way things used to be. We must make our society better, and we know we will, because you are our future leaders, and we have faith in you. So to Niagara University, class of 2021, I say once again, congratulations, good luck, Godspeed.
And now, the culmination of our ceremony, the conferral of degrees. Before we begin, a few administrative details. Professional photographs will be taken of all candidates as they receive their degree from Father Marr, and proofs will be mailed to respective families. In the interest of order and safety, and ask for the simple courtesy of not blocking other people's view, we ask family and friends of the graduates to remain in your seats and not to approach the stage to take pictures. And graduates, out of respect for your fellow classmates, after you receive your degree, please return to your seat and remain seated until the end of the ceremony. All degree candidates, please rise. Reverend President, I have the honor to present to you from the College of Arts and Sciences all candidates who have fulfilled every requirement for their respective degrees.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, with the approval of the Board of Trustees of Niagara University, I hereby confer the appropriate degrees to these candidates and bestow on them all rights and privileges therein. Congratulations.
Graduates, as a symbol of your new status, please move the tassel on your cap from the right side to the left side. Congratulations, Niagara University class of 2021. Please be seated. The first degree we are conferring today warrants some special attention. In the fall of 2017, James D. Lum started his freshman year at NU, like most of you did. Sadly, Jimmy passed away before the start of his sophomore year. Today would have been his graduation day, and members of the senior class delegation requested that we take a moment to recognize Jimmy as a member of the class of 2021. I would like to invite Jimmy's friend, graduating biology major, Lawson Castaldo, to offer a remembrance. I also believe Jimmy's sister and brother are here with us today, Paige, Devin, and Seth. Would you kindly come up to join Father Marr on stage?
Thank you, Averill. Good afternoon, class of 2021. My name is Lawson Castaldo, and I'm here today to share a few words to remember Jimmy and the friend that he was. It cannot be fully expressed how much Jimmy is and will always be missed. Not only was he a great friend, but he was a committed student, a caring son, and he truly had a good heart. For me, and for a lot of our friends, he was someone that you could rely on in the tough times, and he was the friend you could celebrate with in the good times too. We were fortunate to have the time with him that we did. It has nearly been 3 years, and we still look back on our memories with him that we shared. He brought out the best in others. He was the light in the room, and we will always carry his memory and his spirit with us everywhere we go. Jimmy will always be remembered. Devin and Seth, I am honored to recognize my friend and your brother, Jimmy Lum, with this certificate today. And Jimmy, I'm so proud to be able to say that you are graduating with the Niagara University class of 2021.
Thank you. We will now proceed with the conferral of degrees. Degree candidates, please approach the stage. I invite Dean Peter Butera to present the graduates from the College of Arts and Sciences.
Very Reverend President Father Marr, and distinguished members of the Board of Trustees, on behalf of all my faculty colleagues, I have the honor of presenting to you the candidates for the bachelor's degree in the College of Arts and Sciences. Receiving Bachelor of Arts degree, Oliver Philip Ash. Anne Elizabeth Berard, little faint on the card, summa cum laude. Anne's diploma is being presented by her father, William Berard, Senior Lecturer in Management. Angela R. Beret, with distinction. Mairead Rose Cooney, summa cum laude. Marquel R. Corchado. Carson Cotton, cum laude. Casey L. Crast. Gabriella Ann Decker, magna cum laude. Thomas R. Devontier, cum laude. Jewel Marie Eason, magna cum laude. Maxwell J. Ferry. Christian Michael Farkas, magna cum laude. Tara Lindsay Fleming. Jacqueline Margaret Fowlis, summa cum laude, University Honors. Harrison Anthony Albert Fox. William Leif Fritz, magna cum laude. Kaylee K. Gable, cum laude. Megan Eileen Gamble. Isabella Garone, cum laude. Brittany Marie Gavidan. Danielle Dara Goggin. Jose Antonio Gomez Leridan. Sarah Grace Goupel. Jamie Lynn Haskell. Anna Rebecca Hurt, summa cum laude. Kaylin M. Hubbard. Noah P. Hubble, cum laude. Nicholas Timko Jasselin. Ann Judd. Corey Lynn Cammerdiner, cum laude. Isabella V. Keach. Daniel W. Kelly. Elizabeth M. Kelsey Gossard, magna cum laude, departmental honors. Nora E. Klinowski, summa cum laude. Kayla M. Colas, magna cum laude. Kaylee Ashlyn Castello, cum laude. Joseph S. LaHood, summa cum laude, recipient of the Likely Award for Excellence in Theology. Felicia Lamontia. James T. Lester. Elena Cherie Leverett. Gianna Nicole Lopez. Gianna's diploma is being presented by her father, Juan Lopez, Campus Safety Shift Supervisor. Olivia R. Mador. Megan Elizabeth Meyer. Colin Daniel Markarian. Emma E. Mercurio. Quayla Marie Joyce Midget. Allison Louise Mitchell, cum laude. Allison's diploma is being presented by Juan Lopez, Campus Shift Supervisor and a family friend. Alexander Michael Panzarella. Rebecca J. Pratino. Sabrina C. Raganis. Dilshan S. Randhawa. Elijah De Restuccio. Kevin Michael Rinaldi, magna cum laude. Kelsey M. Rowdy, magna cum laude. Anna Maria Romano. Israel Omar Rosado. Israel's diploma is being presented by his mother, Laureen Rosado, accounts receivable cashier in records and financial services. Michaela Rossetti, magna cum laude. Brittany Michaela Rosso, summa cum laude. Charles M. Roth. Alexander P. Scalzo, summa cum laude, University Honors. Sierra Jordan Scheich. Olivia May Schnegenberger, cum laude. Cole Edward Sebastianelli. Teresa Jacqueline Self. Olivia Marie Showers. Julia K. Skoronsky. Julia's diploma is being presented by her father, Michael Skoronsky, Assistant Director of Career Services. Jacob Matthew Stewart, summa cum laude. Casey Scott Stoll. Nicholas Bailey Stoll, cum laude. Isabella H. Susino. Samuel Joseph Trippi, cum laude. Jacob Alexander Tucker, magna cum laude, departmental honors. Esteban G. Valentin. Julia C. Vautour. Sydney E. Wade. Jessica Ann Walsh. Rory Chase Wheeler, cum laude. Joseph P. Zuniga. Receiving the Bachelor of Science degree, Adriana L. Bajer. Jacob D. Ballard. Victoria Elizabeth Bauda, magna cum laude. Raymond G. Bauman. Jacob E. Beal, cum laude. Amanda I. Belmona. Samantha D. Bond. Phoenix Zara Anderson. Elizabeth A. Baez, cum laude. Kayla R. Bosworth. Emma R. Botham. Lydia E. Boyd, magna cum laude. Nicholas N. M. Amatuli. Gregory J. Bremer, magna cum laude. Taylor Morgan Boogie Taylor. Ariel Elizabeth Burden. Simone O. Carr. Sean P. Carrigan, Departmental Honors. Jordan Alexis Carcelli. Bradley A. Caruana. Amanda Mary Casamento, with distinction. Lawson R. Castaldo, summa cum laude, recipient of the Per Blake Award for Excellence in Philosophy. Christopher M. Clark, magna cum laude, University Honors. Miguel Ramirez Corchado. Daniel John Sakani, summa cum laude. Hayden R. Darmstetter, summa cum laude. Gabrielle Rose Della Pena. Rebecca Elizabeth Dobras, cum laude, University Honors. Alex R. Farkas, cum laude. Erin Elizabeth Faxlanger, summa cum laude, University Honors, recipient of the Monsignor Duggan Award for Outstanding Scholarship and Participation in Student Life by a senior woman. Jenna Lee Finton. Jonte Monique Fitzsimmons. Deliali Forcier, magna cum laude. Morgan Ashley Franklin. Kendall Ann Gallagher. David John Gardner. Jade C. Goers. Andrew J. Hamblett, summa cum laude. Paige R. Hamister. Kelsey Rose Harrigan, magna cum laude. Zyra Rosetta Harris. Alexis Diana Horwedel, summa cum laude. Sanjita Hossein. Cynthia Ann Hunt and Anubis. Alex E. Jones, cum laude. Madison Elizabeth Kantowski. Brianna Marie Kehoe, magna cum laude. Pavel Kovtunov. Jesse Michael Kozub, summa cum laude. Jesse's diploma is being presented to him by his mother, Dr. Mary Kozub, assistant professor of nursing. Gregorio Quacamenza. Sarah Mamdou Kurdi, cum laude, departmental honors. Vincenette M. Lagamba. Gina Annalisa Lorini. University honors, cum laude. Sorry, Gina. It's windy. Cody P. Leno, summa cum laude. Kelsey Morgan Lubecki. Connor J. McKenzie. Connor's diploma is being presented by his grandfather, Dr. John Stranges, university professor. Mercedes Catherine Maldonado. Kiana Marie Marshall, cum laude. Ni Maui. Nicolas Friedrich Mers. Ashley Marie Miller. Bryce Alexander Molnar, cum laude. Joseph James Muller. Anna Bella Monday, magna cum laude, university honors. Shaila Muralidharan, magna cum laude, university honors. Amy T. Nguyen. Alexis Oken. Matthew C. Palmater, cum laude. Ashley Aaron Parmley. Liana J. Pontrello. Julia F. Rack, summa cum laude, university honors. Caroline Renee Reeb. Emma Jane Rayrauer. Tyler Joseph Reese, summa cum laude. Erica Ann Ruggieri, summa cum laude, university honors. Kiara Santiago. Ryan W. Schwinn. Manpreet Singh. Brian T. Solinsky. Elizabeth T. Stowell. Bailey Sullivan. Nicholas James Surde. Sarah B. Teal. Douglas George Urban. Lian Mi Vuong, magna cum laude. Alyssa J. Walsh with distinction. Hunter C. Warner. Emily Catherine Weber. Sarah Eileen Wiesenzel. Tyler R. White, magna cum laude. Asia Nicole Williams. Brianna R. Williams. Liliana Wingo. Savannah Elise Worth. Samuel Taylor Witkowski. Luke Alexander Wotashik. Cora Elaine Wright, summa cum laude. Justin T. Yale. Nicholas Cody Zaker. Kira Elise Zappi. I'm sorry. The following students are receiving the Bachelor's of Fine Arts. James Robertson Delano. Skyla Lazonia Fields. Zach Gamel, magna cum laude. Audrey Christine Grout, summa cum laude. Marley Judd, magna cum laude. Michael J. Kelleher, summa cum laude. Benjamin Gregory Kulwanowski, cum laude. Sidney McKinley. Lars Eric Stolpe, summa cum laude. Jason Henry Stopinski, cum laude. Christian J. Webster. This concludes the conferral of degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences.
It is Wendy, messes up my order. Thank you, Dean Patera. Because of the travel restrictions that have been imposed in response to the global pandemic, many of our international students were not able to participate in person during the commencement ceremonies. I would like to take a moment to recognize these students. Samantha Bond. Kathleen Fanek. Savannah Slade. Amanda Thompson. Please join me once again in recognizing the newest graduating class of Niagara University. Congratulations. Colonel Adam Chikansky, Chair of the Military Science Department and Commander of the Purple Eagles Battalion of ROTC, will now present our newest cadets with their commissions as second lieutenants in the United States Army.
Choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve. Joshua, chapter 24, verse 17. 12 members of Niagara University's class of 2021 chose to serve their nation and the American people. They proudly join less than 1% of the American population who have volunteered to serve in our nation's armed forces and become part of a proud Niagara military tradition that dates back more than a century and includes more than 1,300 alumni. I have no doubt they will add to Niagara's rich military legacy and distinguish themselves as leaders for our nation. 9 of the 12 members of the 2021 commissioning class just received their diplomas, and I ask them to now return to the stage. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Elizabeth Altagracia Baez,
I, William Leif Fritz.
I, Andrew Jacob Hamblett.
I, Daniel William Kelly.
I, Ana Maria Romano,
I, Charles Matthew Roth.
I, Cole Edward Sebastianelli.
I, Douglas George Urban.
I, Esteban Gabriel Valentin.
Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States in the grade of second lieutenant, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Congratulations, officers. Colonel Chikansky, if you would kindly remain at the podium for just one moment. Ladies and gentlemen, after leading Niagara University's ROTC program for the past 3 years, Colonel Adam Chikansky will be leaving us for another position. During his time here, the Colonel has actively recruited, trained, developed, and commissioned 32 lieutenants into the United States Army. He has developed strong trust with all his cadets through innovation and instruction and with his constant attention to each individual in the program, all while instilling in them a sense of discipline and pride in our program and the university. On behalf of the entire Niagara family, please accept our sincere appreciation and respect, as well as our best wishes for your continued success. Pittsburgh isn't too far away. You are always welcome back to home to Montego Ridge. Thank you. The Niagara University Senior Medal is awarded annually to the graduating senior who has received the highest grade point average in academic record. This award was presented this morning to graduating tourism and destination management major, Miss Emma Carlo. Father Mar, will you please approach the podium? The Niagara University Opportunity Program Diamond Eagle is presented to a graduating senior NUOP student who has displayed strong moral character, excellent academic achievement, and leadership throughout their time at NU. This year's awardee is social work major and member of the women's track and field team, Miss Zyra Harris. Zyra, please come to accept your award from Father. The Niagara Medal is awarded to the graduating student who, in the judgment of classmates, combines the best qualities of character, personality, and commitment to academic success. The 2021 award was presented this morning at morning's commencement ceremony to graduating nursing major, Mrs. Ashley Plotnicki. Congratulations, Ashley, Zyra, and Emma. Thank you, Father. It is customary during commencement exercises for a representative of the student body to offer an expression of gratitude to the university. I am pleased to invite Mr. Tyler Reese, president of the senior class, to come to the stage to offer his remarks.
Thank you, Averill. Hello, class of 2021. It's an honor to be with you all in person here at Art Park, so close to the cliff and the trails that made myself and so many others fall in love with the Niagara region. After all the uncertainty and challenges, we have the opportunity to gather here in person and celebrate all of our accomplishments, which is truly priceless. Just a couple of months ago, we were planning for both a virtual graduation and an in-person one without guests. It seemed too hopeful to even imagine we'd be able to have guests. So thank you to everyone at Art Park and on the commencement planning team for making this ceremony possible. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to our class advisor and the Director of Health Services, Adrienne Kasbaum, for all she has done to help our class throughout the years, and in particular, all she has done to help us remain safe and on campus throughout the pandemic. We would not be here in person without all of your incredible hard work, and we wish you the best of luck as you depart NU to take on your new role with the Niagara County Department of Health Services. Next, I'd like to thank my parents and all the other parents, grandparents, family, and friends who have sacrificed so much for us to be here today. As college students and young adults in general, it is hard for us to voice our appreciation for your sacrifices out loud, but just know how grateful we are for all the opportunities you have afforded us. As we walk across the stage today, it is much your accomplishment as it is ours, because we would not have made it through without your love and support. If there is one thing above all else that I have learned during my time at Niagara, it is to trust in the divine providence of God. Trust that God has a plan for us. When I first made my decision to come to Niagara, I had so many doubts and regrets, but there was something about Niagara and the Vincentian mission that drew me in. Over time, those doubts dissipated, and now I wouldn't change my decision for the world. I needed to come here. It was all part of God's plan. First, whether I knew it or not, I needed the Vincentian mission in my life. When I arrived here, I saw college as just a practical step to a career that I thought I wanted. Now I realize that there is so much more to life than working and making money. Life is about the relationships we form, the people we help, and the love that we share along the way. Second, I know that the people I have met, the professors, faculty, and staff I've had the opportunity to work with, and most importantly, the lifelong friends that I can't imagine living without, are people that I needed in my life to help make me a better person, discover who I am, and figure out my purpose. As we graduate today, I think it's fitting that we are doing so at Art Park, a place of new beginnings, where the falls began some 12,300 years ago. Over time, the power of the Niagara River carved the landscape to create something truly beautiful, the Niagara Gorge, my personal favorite place on earth. And now, as we leave here today, this marks our new beginning, to go out into the world, holding the Vincentian mission in our heart, and trusting that God will make something beautiful out of our new beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. I would now like to recognize some of the people who worked very hard behind the scenes to make today's ceremonies a success. The members of the commencement planning team, Dr. Henrik Borgstrom, Mr. Michael Jeswald, Brother Martin Schneider, CM, and Sue Strakowski, for negotiating the ever-changing landscape of COVID protocols to ensure that we could celebrate our graduates in person. Thank you. Our lead faculty marshal, Professor of Business Law, Dr. Vincent Agnello, for managing the student procession. The university's media production specialist, Mr. Brian Rock, and media technician, Mr. Michael Eberly, and the entire production team from BAV, and all of our friends from Art Park. Thank you. And the American Sign Language interpreters provided by Service Bridges. Before we conclude the ceremony today, it is with great respect that I invite the 26th president of Niagara University, the Reverend James J. Marr, CM, to come forward and offer his closing remarks.
Thank you, Dean Harbin. I begin by congratulating the class of 2021. You made it. Congratulations. We never doubted. I thank the parents and the families of the graduates as well. You have hung in with us in times of uncertainty and of difficulty, and we thank you for your unwavering commitment to your sons and daughters, to our students, and for your belief in Niagara University and the educational process. So I'd like to ask the graduates to please give your families a round of applause. I thank our speaker and degree honoree, James Foreman, for his life commitment to underserved communities, for his challenge to us today on democracy, and for the ongoing commitment, James, that you have to our society and for the common good. Thank you very much. When St. Vincent de Paul first gathered together the first Vincentian priests and brothers, he used to hold what he called Tuesday conferences, which were opportunities for him to provide ongoing education to the priests and brothers of the Congregation of the Mission. And he would give conferences to them with themes. On one particular day, the theme of the conference was God's goodness makes no noise. God's goodness makes no noise. As we reflect on and honor Anthony Restaino, those words truly fit. He has been a bulwark in Niagara County, in Niagara Falls, and has quietly, institutionally, and personally committed his life to better the lives of people who live in this region, in a particular way, those who struggle economically and socially. Tony, we thank you for your commitment and thank you for giving us the privilege of honoring you today. Thank you very much. To the graduates, I leave you with one final promise and challenge. The promise is our ongoing support of you. As life twists and turns, Niagara University is always here for you and to help you as your family. And I offer you this challenge. In his most recent book, the Surgeon General Vivek Murthy writes of his visits to hundreds of communities in the United States to ascertain their health and their needs. And what he found was surprising in terms of the community's needs. It was not simply cancer or diabetes or some other illness that was plaguing communities. But what Dr. Murthy found at the heart of the core of the distress of people in the States was loneliness. His book, entitled Together, chronicles his experience of visiting communities all throughout the United States of America and people struggling in loneliness and in isolation pre-pandemic. As you go forward, learn the lessons of the pandemic. That busyness will not save us. That human relationships are the core of human life. We need human relationships like the air that we breathe and the water that we drink. They are essential to our living and to our lives together. There is no substitute for human connection. Not Twitter, not TikTok, not Instagram, not anything. Remember that lesson, that human relationships and the fabric of our community are essential to our lives together as human beings. Remember that in family, remember that in workplaces, and remember that in the communities where you will live. Remember also to care for yourselves. All of us have been touched and felt the sting and the pain of people whose lives have ended way too early. Not only because of COVID-19, because of deep emotional pain and distress that they lived in. That in fact, COVID robbed that extra layer and buffer of protection that we count on in life. Make sure that you always take care of yourself. Make sure that you remember to ask for help is a sign of human strength. And to offer help to someone who is struggling is a sign of human strength. Commit yourselves today to learn that lesson of the global pandemic. And also remember that the Vincentian education that you've been given is a blessing and a privilege. And you are meant to take the gifts that you have received, the degree that you have, and to find a way to make a difference in the lives of those who are on the margins of life. The poor, the dispossessed, the locked out, those people who live life with disabilities. Reach into their lives and be God's healing presence, the balm that they need in their lives. You've been immensely gifted and supported by your families and this university. Give back to communities in need and make them know your holy presence. We send you forth into the world beaming with pride. We hold you in the greatest of esteem for your accomplishments, for your perseverance, for your grit this year. And we send you forth knowing you're ready to go out and transform the world and be the power of Niagara. God bless you and thank you for coming to Niagara University.
Thank you, Father, for your thoughtful remarks, and as always, your steadfast leadership and inspired vision. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Graduates, the faculty marshal will lead you out, and I ask that all guests remain at your seats until all students have processed out. For everyone's safety, please adhere to the standard pandemic protocols as you meet up with your friends and families after the ceremony. I declare the 2021 Baccalaureate Commencement exercises for Niagara University's College of Arts and Sciences officially closed. Thank you.